into benefit. Okay, great. So I'll be inviting my guests onto the guest seats very soon. Great. So if you just joined in on YouTube, you are welcome. It is still Josephine Greatness on Josephine Greatness TV here on YouTube. Today, the topic on board is all you need to know about blood groups. All right. And this is on TikTok. I'm running a series named the Your Midwife series. And so on that series, we are talking about everything health related, everything midwifery, everything health related in general. So this is the very first live session on the Your Midwife series. And so please stay tuned. If you just joined in, you're welcome. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you are clicking on the subscription button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of my videos or any of my live sessions. It is great having you here on this channel on YouTube. I share information about how you can explore the world as a healthcare professional. I share the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. My music videos, that said, make sure you are looking out for my debut single. The title is In This Place by myself, Josephine Benson, and it is available on all digital platforms and all social media handles. There are free downloads, guys, and there are premium downloads. So on social media, on Facebook, Snapchat, even on WhatsApp, on TikTok, you can use it as your song or verse. And yeah, the track is a blessed one. So today we are diving into health. And the first topic we are going to be handling on the Your Midwife series, which is the first live session on the Your Midwife series, is blood groups. Blood groups. So before we dive into the fascinating links between blood groups, pregnancy, and childbirth, let's start with the basics. Every person's blood belongs to a specific group, and this is determined by tiny markers on the surface of the red blood cells. And the most well-known system is the ABO system, giving us the blood groups of AB, B, and the O, and then the rhesus system, which tells us whether someone is rhesus positive or rhesus negative. I'm going to be inviting my guest, who is a medical laboratory scientists, onto the guest seat in a few minutes. And they aren't just these markers on the red blood cells aren't just labels on a lab report. They can influence how our bodies respond to transfusions. I mean, blood transfusions, how pregnancies are managed, and even how newborns are cared for in those first precious hours of their lives. For expectant mothers, guys, knowing your blood group early can be life saving. It helps. It really, really helps healthcare teams prepare for emergencies, prevent complications like rhesus incompatibilities, and ensure that the right blood is available if needed during your delivery. Today, we are joined by as I already mentioned, a very important guest. Let me invite her onto the guest seat now. Yeah. So we are joined by Miss Ruthie. Miss Ruthie is a medical lab scientist to unpack the science, but the myths, bust the myths around blood groups, and explore what every mother, every midwife, every parent to be should know about blood groups. So, Miss Ruthie, you are most welcome.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now that we've set the stage with the basics, let's dig a little bit deeper. So, Miss Ruthie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can, dive into the main topic for the day?
Okay, known here as Miss Ruthie. I'm a biomedical scientist. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I also do mostly about education. So if you go on my platform, I mostly talk about hepatitis B, blood group, genotype, and things related to the laboratory. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, guys, you should look out for Miss Ruthie's page. If you haven't yet followed her, please go and check her page. She does lots of education around this topic. So to start off, Miss Ruthie, can we explore can you walk us through exactly what blood groups are? What exactly are blood groups and how are they determined?
Okay. Okay, with blood groups, I think mostly when I want to talk about this thing, I want to maybe illustrate something. But for today, let's just go to the theory. Yeah.
Okay, you
So
are free. You are free to.
blood groups, they are antigens.
Okay.
They are antigens that are found around our red blood cells.
Mhm.
That's basically, yeah, that is a blood group. So if the antigen found there are A, that means you are blood group A. If the antigen found there blood group, maybe B. If it's AB, that means if there's both A and B antigen, that means you are blood group AB. Yeah.
AB, okay. You are muted, Miss Ruti.
Yeah, so basically that they are just antigens that are found around the red blood cells. And how they can be determined, unless the sample is taken to the laboratory. So the laboratory can determine your blood group. Yeah.
Okay. So could
So
you
that is like,
yeah. So could you explain the ABO and the resource system in simple terms?
okay. So as I said, we are looking at the antigens around the red blood cells.
Mm-hmm.
So there are another antigen that is called the antigen D, mostly referred as the resource antigen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either present or not present.
Okay.
And if it's present, it doesn't change anything. If it's not present, so it doesn't change anything. So if you are blood group A, that means you have antigen A. And if you have another additional antigen, which is the D, we classify you as A positive.
Okay.
So if there's no presence of the antigen D, then you are classified as A negative.
That's a really
But in either way, either the positive or negative, it all works perfectly. Yeah.
Wonderful. So how common are the different blood groups globally and in our local population?
With the global and with the local as well, I think the common one is the O positive.
Okay.
The common one is the O positive, and the least one will be AB negative.
Wonderful.
So coming to like in Africa, like Ghana especially, like the O positive, yeah, it's about 50% or so, and A before B, then maybe AB. Yeah.
Wonderful. So please, some of our Ganyobi officials says he can't see your face.
I'm still. I came for morning shift though, but something came up, so I'm still at the office though. So
don't mind Ganyobi official. So at any point, if you are able to, then you can pop your camera on. So I just did a little bit of research around how common it is, and I also saw that the O positive is indeed the most common globally, which is between from 37 to 40%, followed by A positive, which is 27 to 30%, B positive, which is 20%, and then the AB positive, which is between ranges from 5 to 7%. And then with the resource negative blood, as you've already mentioned, it is very rare, and that's 15% in Caucasians, and then less than 5% in Africans and Asians. Then, depending on local prevalence, depending on your region, for example, in many African population, as you've already mentioned, O positive is the most common, which makes up 50% of the population. Then A positive and B positive is next, between 20 to 25%, and then AB positive is very rare, which is less than 5%. So great. Why is the rhesus factor so important in healthcare, especially for women of childbearing age?
Okay, with the rhesus negative, let me put in this scenario. Mostly, our body react to anything that is not internally maybe added or formed when you are giving birth. So if someone is A negative, that means the person don't have the antigen. That's the A antigen.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime anything foreign gets into your body sees it like a threat.
Yeah, what is happening? Who just came in?
Your body will produce antibodies against that thing.
That foreign body.
Any foreign body. So assuming a lady who is O negative, that means the person do not have the D antigen.
Yeah.
So any moment there will be a D antigen in the person's body, the body then creates antibodies to fight against that antigen which is present in the person's body. So let's take this scenario. The lady who is negative, considering the blood group, either A, B or O, if the person is negative and gets pregnant with someone who is D antigen present or positive.
So that's the rhesus factor, right?
The rhesus factor. So when you are pregnant, I think from the 28 weeks, some of the baby antibodies crosses the placenta into the mother's bloodstream.
It may, yeah.
It's made. So within this process, because the mother do not have the D antigen, that antigen from the child is seen as a threat to the mother.
The foreign body, yeah.
So it will then start to produce antigen against that fetus. But the production of the antibody, because they are small amounts, like the quantity is very small, the antibodies produced won't harm the child because it's of small quantity. Then when the woman delivers, that means more amounts of this antigen is rushed into the mother's bloodstream and leading to more production of these antibodies. So mostly, if the woman is negative, like O negative, and she carries maybe O positive child, he can deliver without any consequence to the mother or the child. But after the first birth, that is when more production of these antibodies is done because of the delivery.
The foreign body, yeah.
More antigen is moved from the child to the mother. So mostly with the first pregnancy, there's no consequences to the child or anything. But the second pregnancy, this is when they are already built antibodies. So with the second pregnancy, as I said earlier, 28 weeks, that is when the second child antigen would then travel back to the mother. And you know, the antibodies that are produced, the IgG, they can cross the placenta and have effects on the child. So that is when there will be hemolysis. From the antibodies that are already produced in the mother, it crosses the placenta and then have effects on the child. So sometimes you have miscarriage, and if you have like opportunity to even give birth to such children, they can't survive. So that is the only issue that is related to the RAD when it's related to pregnancies. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you mentioned hemolysis. So that is where a newborn can, have the hemolytic disease of the newborn, right? Wonderful. In future pregnancies,
the child is able to survive. Sometimes the child will be having enlarged stomach, the liver issues, and hemolysis is because when there's red blood cell breakdown, there are more bilirubin formed.
Yeah.
And the bilirubin should be cleared by the liver. And that at that age needs to the child liver is not even working actively. So there'll be piled of bilirubin and to the child.
Okay. Great. So Miss Ruthie, how is the blood group testing done? So you mentioned that you've explained in simple terms what the blood groups and the rhesus factors are. So how can people get to know what their blood groups are in simple terms?
Okay, with the blood group, we use antisera at the laboratory.
Okay.
As I said earlier, the blood group, it's antigen. So when there's anything, antigen and antibody reaction, they will form agglutination.
Please, can you break down? The words are big, agglutination.
So
we don't understand.
Antigen and antibody reaction, there will be hemolysis. As if it's in the body, there will be hemolysis. You see that the red cell will break down. So assuming you are blood group A, and we want to determine your blood group A, we have to react it with blood group A antibodies, because always antigen and antibody, when they react, they will form some reaction. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So that is the reaction that we see. So if you have blood group A, or when you come inside, you want to check your blood group, we have anti-A antibodies, anti-B antibodies, and we have both the A and B antigen. That is for the O opposites. I don't know if you are getting it.
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah, so we use this antisera. We take your blood and we add these antibodies and see which one your body will react to.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So in simple terms, is a blood sample. So your blood sample is what? Yeah. So you guys use blood sample, because somebody may be here who is thinking, is it my urine they are going to use to test it? Because pregnancy tests, we can use both blood and urine. So it is it basically blood samples that are used to determine. All right, wonderful. And how early in life can people's blood groups be determined? Is there a specific age?
No, I think from birth you can even determine.
Wonderful.
Yeah, sickle cell that will maybe start from 6 months. With blood group, from birth,
right from birth, people can know. And I'll add on, it's very important that people get to know. There are people out there, I'm sure some people who have joined in today who have no idea what their blood groups are. So can you please talk about why it is important that if somebody is here who is on this live and don't yet know what their blood group is, please talk to them. Why it is important, both men and women,
Blood group, I think with blood group, the importance of knowing your blood group is for transfusion, mostly for transfusion. And ideally, we should be having cards. They should be having cards that have these details, maybe your name, your age, your blood group, your genotype, your sickle cell.
Okay.
Because sometimes you'll be moving around, anything anything. So maybe when you are saved by someone, you know your blood group from the card, and we can go ahead and give you transfusion just to save your life. Wonderful. So it's very good. And sometimes during marriage, like the ladies, as we spoke earlier, at least when you know your blood group, when you know your results, when you are negative, you know what to do next. Because if you're a lady and you are resource negative, that means you have to take care of yourself. Avoid abortion at the early stage. And even the person that you have an encounter with, you should even know the person's blood group.
And their rhesus factor.
So the rhesus factor. So when you are doing anything, like maybe you had an encounter with someone and you couldn't, maybe you want to abort the child, you know the consequence. Because after abortion, remember, there are production of these antibodies, which can affect your next pregnancy. So when you know your blood group, you know your resource, and you know whatever that you are doing, you know the procedure, you way forward, what you're going to do next to protect your next pregnancy. So I think blood group and the resource, it's important for everyone to know what. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And you mentioned, termination, pregnancy termination, because you know, there some people feel that, I miscarried, so that's fine. I'm a resource negative woman. I was pregnant, but then I miscarried, and that's it. And then they've been discharged. But if you know all these informations, you could, prompt the healthcare professionals. Healthcare professionals should know exactly what to do in your treatment or management. But sometimes when patients also know, they are they know the information, they can also contribute in their care. So you can let them know that, I'm resource negative. What next? What next do we do to protect my subsequent pregnancy? So now let's move on to pregnancy and maternal health. How does a mother's blood group and rhesus factor influence pregnancy care?
Okay, I think with this with the RH, I think we've discussed it. Yeah, it's all bounce back to the RAG. So if you are blood group with the RHD, if it's negative, any blood group, if it's negative, and you've had miscarriage, termination, or anything, I advise you to see your midwife, you see a doctor before maybe you think of giving birth again. Yeah. And sometimes you personally, if you want to know if there's a buildup of these antibodies, they are tests at the laboratory. That is indirect home test. You can just walk in, even if you're not ready for maybe a second pregnancy, but you can still take care of yourself. So you go to any laboratory, hospital closer to you, and you explain. If you don't want to explain, just tell them you are here to do indirect Coombs test. And this test will determine if there's antibody buildup. If there's antibody buildup, there's injection there. You take it to mop up every antibody that is built up in your body.
Yeah. And Miss Ruthie, let's talk about what resource incompatibility is and how it can affect the mother and the baby.
Okay. I think earlier on we've even spoken about it. So with resource, anytime there's anything foreign to your body, there's production of antibodies. So as a mother or a lady, if you are any of the blood group negative, and if your husband is negative, you have no problem. But sometimes you can be negative and you have a positive husband, but still the child will be negative.
Yeah.
But here in Ghana, at my place, when you are pregnant, we can determine if the child blood group is negative or positive. But elsewhere, they can. They have other tests like amniocentesis and those stuff that they can. But here in Ghana, we can. So to clear any doubt, they will advise you to buy the injection. So at the 28 weeks, they will inject you. So if you are blood group, any of the blood group negative, and you are married or you have any encounter with someone who blood group with the RAD, that's your resource positive. That means it's likely that the child will take either your resource, which is negative, or the man's resource, which is positive. And remember, if you are pregnant and you have a resource positive child, at the 28 weeks, some of the baby's antigen gets into your bloodstream. It crosses the placenta and gets into your bloodstream. And since you don't have this antigen, your body sees it as a pathogen, as a threat. So it starts producing antibodies to attack the cells. But the production of the antibodies takes a long period of time. Because that time with your first pregnancy, the amount of antigen that crosses the placenta is usually small in quantity. So the antibodies that are produced don't have much effect on the baby that you are carrying currently. But when you give birth, that is when much of the baby's blood gets back into your placenta, so your bloodstream. So that is where there are more production of these antibodies. So if you are already negative mother and you have miscarriage, you've given birth, I would advise you to go and test. As in Ghana, I would say indirect test. That's what we do here. So you test for the indirect test. And sometimes too, someone can still, aside miscarriage, like having the second pregnancy, and there will be a miscarriage because one, mostly at the 28th weeks for your second pregnancy, your baby placenta also start to, the antibody also start to cross the placenta. And remember, there's already build up of antibodies, so they react or attack the body cells, and sometimes leading to maybe miscarriage. But sometimes too, the baby survive. The baby survive, and I said earlier, it have effects on their liver, their stomach, their kidney as well. You'll be having jaundice, and so it's a whole lot when there's hemolytic diseases of the newborn.
Wonderful. So as you mentioned, in Ghana, people can, walk into health facilities to ask for these tests to be carried out. Yeah. But in other parts of the world, I wouldn't want to narrow things to where I am. In other parts of the world, as part of the guidelines and the protocols, I have practiced in Ghana before, practicing in the UK. In midwifery or in maternal care, that is one of the main things that we do. We test all of that. So the moment you sign in, you're booking bloods. Your blood group, your rhesus factor is part of it. And if we determine that you are rhesus negative, then we will counsel you, talk to you about the anti-D immunoglobulin injection, which, as you've mentioned already, at 28 weeks, you are given a dose of it. And then within 72 hours after delivery, you get another dose to help clear any antibodies that may have been produced in the mother's blood group. So I know you've talked about indirect Coombs test, but could you explain the role of that test in antenatal care?
Okay. So this test is done to just detect if there's presence of these antibodies that will attack your pregnancy. Yeah, so this test is just done. We take your blood sample. It's usually blood sample here. We take your blood sample and we are just searching for the antibodies against the RAD antigen. Yeah, so basically that is the Coombs test. Yeah.
Wonderful. So now let's move on to childbirth and newborn care. How does a mother's blood group affect the baby's health immediately after birth?
So mostly ABO have a mild. We don't normally even say it because with the ABO, sometimes it have a small reaction. That is when you give birth, you see there will be a little bilirubin or jaundice, the yellowish of the and the skin. Sometimes you just for some small time it will just disappear. Mostly with the ABO, we don't normally have a stronger or serious reaction. Mostly, it all depends on the RAD that we've spoken about.
Okay.
Yeah. So
wonderful. So just to summarize what you've said, if there is ABO or rhesus incompatibility, the baby may show signs of jaundice or anemia, right? And then when it comes to HDN, that's the hemolytic disease of the newborn. That happens if there is maternal antibodies attacking the baby's red blood cells. So basically, from where we have come to where we are now in this discussion, that is, if in previous pregnancy that baby left antibodies in the maternal bloodstream, then the current baby may be prone to hemolytic disease of the newborn, and that is where maternal antibodies are attacking the baby's red blood cells. And so as you've already mentioned, the anti-D immunoglobulin injection can help to, clear all of that. And then close monitoring and early treatment of the signs of jaundice is also very, very important in the first few days or weeks of the baby's life. And then, as well, I would also mention that special delivery considerations for rare blood group types. So, there should be, when I remember in Ghana, if we find anybody, for example, people who are rhesus negative, it's one of the most important things that we look out for, that we know that for sure we have got the right type of blood available in case that woman will need blood transfusion. So, in the care of the childbirth, during childbirth and newborn care, special delivery considerations for rare blood types should be made. So, we should ensure that blood products are available in case of an emergency. And then when or why newborn blood group testing is done, usually at birth, if the mother is rhesus negative or if transfusion might be needed. So it's very, very important that with a rhesus negative mom, the baby is also tested to determine what the baby's blood group and rhesus factors are. So how does okay, you know what? Let's move on to compatibility
Okay.
compatibility and transfusion. So in general, we are moving off, childbirth, pregnancy, maternal care. We are going to generally compatibility and transfusions. In what situations might people, including pregnant women, need blood transfusion, and how is compatibility ensured, especially in emergency cases?
Okay, so with blood transfusion, I think my age
Mm,
and my age when you are pregnant, I think from your 7th month,
mm.
you have to secure blood, even if your HB is higher or lower, because during birth anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Someone
Yeah.
after birth, the person will be bleeding or
Mm,
anything. So
mm,
one, they secure blood and compatibility testing will be done. So
mm,
what we do is we match the patients as a pregnant woman blood against the blood that we are about to transfuse. So if there's any reaction, someone will be old.
mhm,
By still giving all blood, the person can still react to the blood
mhm.
because there are other antigens and proteins that we don't even test that might be present. Then when you are giving the same old blood to the patient, the person might be even having reaction to that. So there are these compatibility tests done from the patient's blood to the donor's blood, and yeah, so that is what we do. Yeah.
Okay. So just to add on, as you mentioned in Ghana where you practice, when people need blood, some of the time, let me not use the word most, some of the times, that is when we go looking for donors, blood donors,
Yeah, sure,
right?
sure.
So there isn't availability. Usually, some of the big hospitals will have blood banks, but even in those hospitals, like teaching hospitals and district hospitals, there are instances where the blood bank is lacking. So there will be need for donors there and there in that emergency to get,
So let me take this in. I
mm,
think when you are your blood group negative, especially like the O or A, or the like all of the blood group, if you are negative, that is when. So when you are pregnant and you come to the hospital, you have a laboratory test that you have to do, your first antenatal test. So when you are blood group negative, any of them negative, that's when we start looking for that negative blood as early, maybe
as
2 months
possible.
as
Yeah.
possible. But with the other blood groups, maybe mostly 7 to 8 months, that's when we inform you that
You
just
need to
secure
get
blood,
some
anything
blood.
can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly with the negative blood, we look for it. You have
Wow.
to secure it earlier. Yeah.
Then where I am, there is luxury. In fact, I worked in that in Ghana. I've worked in Ghana most of my midwifery life, and I kind of know what you are talking about, because there are times where you just have to. That is when we need donors to come donate the blood. But where I am currently, there are blood banks, in most facilities. I would say in all the facilities. So in emergency situations, when it comes to transfusion, where, for example, we may not know the person's blood group or razor's status, that is what it's going to is this is going to take me to my next question to you, Miss Ruti. We usually go in for the emergency blood, which is a O negative. So my question is O negative really the universal donor? And how does that help in obstetric emergencies?
Okay, yes, they all negative. So mostly, let me with O negative, it doesn't have any of the antigen A or B. So that means it's a universal. And aside that, the RAG2, it doesn't have that antigen as well. So it's a universal blood that can be given to any of the blood group. So sometimes, as at my place, sometimes we'll be having a referral case, like emergency case, and this is not the time you have to go and take the person's sample
and all of that
for anything. So we just go in for the blood group, which is the blood. We know that there won't be any consequence or anything. Yeah, so the O negative is
it's a universal donor. Wonderful. Somebody may be asking, okay, I am O positive. Somebody is O negative. What is the difference? Why is my O positive not a universal donor as the O negative? Can you throw light on that? Just so somebody who is a lay person can understand.
Positive. So the plus means there's additional antigen. And remember, if you are O negative, if you are giving this additional antigen, your body will see that antigen that is not already in your system as pathogen. So there will be reaction or towards that. But with the O negative, the person even don't have the A antigen, the B antigen, and the RAG antigen as well. So that makes it a universal one. With the O positive, you have additional antigen. So O negative will react to that antigen. So with your own, you can't be a universal one. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So let's move on to myths and misconceptions about blood groups, blood transfusion, and all of that. Are there myths about blood groups and fertility that you would like to debunk?
Yeah, the other time, I think that was last week, someone told me, I'm Harry.
Yeah.
And it was like, he just approached me like, how are you? I said, okay. He was a pastor. So what's my blood group? And I said, O positive. He said, can I advise you, dear? Have you given birth? And I said, no. It was like, blood group O positive with a hairy body, dear. At the age of 35, let me tell you, you can't give birth.
Hi.
I was like, oh, okay. You can't give birth. So I would advise you immediately, if you get someone, even if the person is not ready, and you are ready to give birth, allow the person to. I was like, oh, like seriously.
He didn't know who he was talking to.
Yeah. So blood group doesn't have any effects on fertility. Mostly it's based on hormones, even the sperm count of the man and other maybe related issue that is related to maybe pregnancy. But with blood group, any of your blood group type can give birth. If you don't have any condition related to pregnancy, any of the blood groups, there's no blood group which is fertile and the other one which is not fertile. So the blood group, I think,
So the thing is, there is no scientific evidence that blood group affects ability to conceive, guys. There is no scientific, evidence to say that. Now, does blood group determine a baby's gender or personality?
Please, no. There's no proof as well. But there are a lot of stuff out there, but there is not.
So if somebody is here right now and the person says that, maybe somebody is, trying to get to know them, they are O negative, O this, They're like, can I know your blood group? He says, A, no, I can't date you because I want boys. It's you say it's not correct, right? It's not true.
It's not. It's not. Know your blood group. It gives you idea of the child, the blood group of the child that you are going to give birth, but not related to gender.
Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah.
Makalisha is laughing. Makalisha, thanks for the follow. Guys, if you just joined in, you're most welcome. Today we are talking about blood groups. I've got Miss Ruti here with me. She is a medical lab scientist, and we are discussing all about blood groups, from your health, your treatment management, childbirth, and newborn care, and we are just talking about the myths about blood groups. So, especially with healthcare professionals, when they are getting to know somebody, one of the main things they would want to know is the person's blood group, especially the rhesus factor. If Hi, Inkwa, how are you doing? Yeah, and for example, if it's a man, the man may feel, oh, this lady, I really want to date her. But if I badge in to getting to know, my resource factor and stuff, maybe she will say that I can't, have boys or girls. And so she will, she will not accept my proposal. Guys, if anybody is asking that before you guys take a step into commitment, and you're asking to know your blood group or resource factor, it is just so that the person can know, especially for the women during pregnancy, how they are going to be cared for, whether they are unborn children, I mean the fetus in there, may pick a rhesus positive or a rhesus negative, so that they can know how their treatment will go. You get me? It is not about the child's sex or fertility and all of that. There is no scientific evidence that a particular blood group can give birth to boys or girls, or a particular blood group of women are fertile and others aren't fertile. So, what is my next question to you? So, is it true that certain blood groups are more prone to miscarriages than others?
Okay, when the blood group, you have the ABO system and you have the RAD.
The reasons.
So with the blood group as in blood group A, B, or O, it doesn't have any link to miscarriage. But when you have the RAG, which is negative, and that is when sometimes when you have miscarriage and you are not giving the anti-D injection, that is when. But just blood group A, blood group O, it's not related.
Yeah.
So mostly it's about the RAD. Yeah, it's about the RAD.
So, guys, Miss Ruti is talking her language, RHD, and so all that she means. Sometimes when you go testing for your blood group and they tell you are A positive or A negative, the negative or the positive is the RHD, is a rhesus factor. Okay, so there is a rhesus factor and then the blood grouping. So the blood grouping is the A, B, and O, the ABO. And then the rhesus factors are either the negative or the positive. So just what she's saying in a nutshell is that the ABO doesn't determine whether you are going to miscarry or not, or a person is prone to that or not. But the rhesus factors, a rhesus incompatibility can cause complications in subsequent pregnancies. But most blood groups do not increase miscarriage risks. So that is why you need to know your rhesus factor. Okay, if you are a woman, especially so knowing it will help you know whether you are rhesus negative or rhesus positive. And if you are rhesus negative, there is always a treatment guideline that can help you. That is where you may be given the anti-D immunoglobulin during pregnancy, and then you get the immunoglobulin after birth. So it is very, very important that you know that. So, guys, It is your turn. If you've got any questions, I promised you we weren't going to stay too long here today because we are still in the middle of the week. People are going back to work tomorrow and all of that. So it is your turn to take the mic. What's on your mind? Do you have any questions? It's something bothering you. You can pop it into the comment section, or you can request to join the guest seat. Ganyabi, what don't you understand? Ganyabi says, please, I don't understand though. What don't you understand? So today we've shared the facts. Now let's tackle your curiosities. You can post your questions in there. So Ganyabi, please let us know exactly what you don't understand. No question is too small when it comes to health and safe birth. So ask your questions, and Miss Ruti is here on the guest seat. She's happy to, help you understand. Canary. So, in summary, the key point for pregnancy is that no, it's very important that the mother, kindly bear with me, guys. Yeah, it's very important that in pregnancy, the mother knows a blood group. It's very important that you check your rhesus factor. It is also very important that you monitor, antibodies are monitored in pregnancy. And the use of the anti D immunoglobulin is also very important, needed to help, clear any antibodies, to help, manage the current pregnancy as well. Um, you don't understand why there's a beautiful face behind the lessons. Oh, that's a compliment. Yeah. Thank you. So, and all praise to God. And it's very, very important that if you are rhesus negative and you've ever had a miscarriage before, or you've ever had a baby before, if you can't remember whether you were given an anti-D immunoglobulin, you need to see your doctor. You need to see your midwife. And um, when you are booking, you get to know that you are pregnant and you are booking. You need to give all of these histories, especially if you know your rhesus factor and you know you've miscarried before, or you've had a pregnancy termination before. Oh, Miss Ruthie, why were you hiding this beautiful face? That's what Ganebi didn't understand. You are muted. You are muted.
Yeah, we at the microbe laboratory. We're doing something here, so okay. I have to.
I think Ganebi is satisfied now. He's satisfied now. So, in a nutshell, again, the ABO incompatibility is usually mild, as Miss Ruti has said, but the rhesus incompatibility can be severe if unmanaged. And that is one of the main reasons why I invited Miss Ruti here to talk to us about the ABO and the rhesus factors. So, that is in a nutshell what we've talked about. Miss Ruti, do you want to add anything to it?
Okay. I would advise people, please, especially the ladies, please go and check for your blood group. And when you go and you are like with the REG, if you are negative, please. Mostly, I talk to my Ghanaian ladies. They don't usually do. So when they are ready when they are now married, they want to conceive. That is when they will be having complication, and they won't even come straight to the hospital. They'll be then taking concussion. So someone will come. The person already have about 3 or 4 miscarriage before she will have the idea of even coming to the hospital. So when you are RHGE negative, please talk to your midwife, talk to your doctor if you want to conceive again. And please, with the blood group A, B, O, AB, you can give birth without any complication when it's not related to the RAD. We don't have blood group which is fertile and the other one which is not fertile. And aside that, too, gender of your child cannot be determined by blood group. Your blood group, knowing your blood group, your partner's blood group, is good for transfusion and also knowing maternal complication, mostly related to RAD. But knowing your blood group, your partner's blood group, it gives you idea the blood group of your child, but not the gender.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
that
I'll
is what
also add on that with rhesus negative mothers, if you experience antepartum hemorrhage, I mean during pregnancy, if ever you bleed, then, or let's say if there is a suspicion that trauma, maybe you were involved in a domestic accident or a road traffic accident, the healthcare professionals are going to recommend that you get anti-D immunoglobulin injection, irrespective of your gestation. And I will say this because of consent from patients, especially Miss Riti, in some African countries, even in the Western world, some patients may decline that, oh, I'm fine, nothing happened to me, and all of that. But it's important that the reason why that medication is being recommended. It is to help clear any antibodies that the baby may have dropped in your bloodstream towards your subsequent pregnancies. Because in traumatic situations, it is possible that there can be transfer of blood from the placental side through the maternal side into the mother's bloodstream. And so it is important that these tests are done, for example, the Kleihauer tests, towards knowing the amount of fetal blood that has seeped into the maternal bloodstream to help clear the antibodies that may have been produced. So Ganya B says, please, which of these blood group, O positive and O negative, are very difficult to find if a patient needs blood? Miss Riti, I'll leave that for you.
It's O negative. Yeah, it's O negative. As you said earlier, with O positive, there are about 50% of them with the O negative. So it's O negative.
Yeah, and it so happens that the O negative too is the universal donor, and that is the one that is difficult to get. That's the one that is difficult to get. Ganyabi, I hope you've been answered. Okay, so Ganyabi says, blood group O positive. Can I get married to a woman with O positive? Ganyabi, no question is small. And and very hairy too. Miss Ruti, please answer him.
So when it comes to marriage, I think with all the blood groups, you are compatible with everyone, all the blood groups.
Yeah.
So yeah, with all the blood groups, you can marry any of the blood groups. Yeah.
Ganyabi is trying to worry you, Miss Ruti.
No. So yeah, you can. Yeah.
So that question is good for anybody who is was it? Oh, then Safa. I told you he's pulling your legs, didn't I? So yeah. So if blood group doesn't really, let me not use the word doesn't really. It doesn't matter when you want to choose a life partner. But then Miss Riti and I will be coming back on a live session to talk about what I call the sickling status. Because for that one, you would have to be, intentional when you are choosing a life partner when it comes to that. So we will be coming back on a live session to talk about that one. But when it comes to blood groups, Ganyobi, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you choose to marry. So, Miss Riti, there is this question I wish you would answer. So, let's say, for example, for people who are here, it is very educative and informative, Ganyabi. I've benefited from it too. So, Miss Riti, let's say, for example, two people, definitely two people make a baby, right? So, the man is O positive, woman is also O positive. So they are both in the same blood group. Is it possible that they can have a child who isn't O, but A or B?
Please no.
Okay.
So with the blood group, we have blood group genotype as well.
Mm-hmm.
What you see as O, A, that is the phenotype. That is what we do when we see it. Like when we do the blood group, and that is what we see. But genotypically, what we can see, we have also genotype. So blood group O, the genotype for blood group O is OO. Genotype for blood group A is AO or AA. And blood group B, the genotype is either BO or BB. So blood group, like two people, AOO. So that genotypically you are OO. And remember, when you're giving birth, you produce one of your gene. So the man will bring out maybe one of the O. The woman will bring out one of the O. So the baby will be O. So throughout with the matchmaking, everything is OO, genotypically.
Yeah.
So you can't give birth. So when you give birth to B, A, B, there's a question mark, but you can't, based on just blood groups, to also determine if the child is yours or not. So you have to go and do DNA test.
Yeah, I know somebody is on the live who really wanted to ask that question, but they may know. So I just wanted to ask the people, because some people, I get encounters of people come and ask, just think, I know I'm O, and my partner too is O, but we've given birth to a child. When we check the child's blood group, the child is A. What I just say is that then you, both of you, the adults, you need to go back and check your blood group again. It could be that the results you got for yours wasn't what it is.
Wasn't correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also there's another leukemia, but it's not that common. It blocks the part that the antigen is present. So someone will be AB positive or A positive. But the leukemia in a way blocks where the antigen A is. So when you do the blood group, it will even come out as O.
So even at the lab, you may not really see the exact
thing because of this leukemia case. So that's why you can't, because there'll be mutation. There can be mutation here. So you can't just base on the blood group, because I am O, my partner is O, we've given birth to A. Maybe you, the mother, maybe you are A, but you'll be having some condition where the antigen cannot be detected.
It blocks.
So that's why we just base on just the blood group to just say this is my child or not. So you just have to go for the general one. That is the DNA, because we have about 2,500 genes. So you can't just base on just one
and then say that the baby is not mine.
Yeah. So you have to, but to give you a clue, if you don't understand, you just go forward with it. DNA testing. Yeah.
So let's say thank you to all those who are following us, those who are sharing the live, those who are liking the live. Thank you. We really appreciate that. And I would say that Miss Ruthie here does a lot of health education on her TikTok page. So if you are here today and you are meeting her for the first time, I think you are blessed to have met her. You should head on to her page to go and check out all the useful content that she's creating there. It will definitely help you. It will help you, because Miss Ruthie, I'm benefiting from your content too. That is why I got you here. So now, still on the question I asked. So with that scenario, what would you advise the people? I usually say that please go back and, repeat your blood group testing again. Does it end there? Apart, you are saying DNA. Let's say, for example, so apart from the DNA and going back to repeat the blood group testing, what else can people do just to put their minds to rest?
I think just two. For my side, just these two, because sometimes the reagents that you use, sometimes the storage of the reagents can even reduce the potency of the reagent. I had a child. Please go to another hospital, any laboratory, to do it again, like redo it again. Or if you go and you have the same thing, please go and do DNA test, because you can't just base on one gene. Well, we have about 250,000 genes. You can't just base on just the blood group to say the child is yours or not.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. So again, people have this concern about accepting blood transfusions, because they go like, I don't know if the donor was diabetic or the donor had, apart from, sexually transmitted diseases like the ones we know, chronic conditions like, for example, diabetes. If a donor has such condition, is it possible that the recipient may develop it after receiving a blood transfusion?
No,
Tell
no.
us more.
So with my age, like here, mostly, um, I think diseases that can be transferred or transmitted through blood. That's what we screen for. So we screen for ritual, syphilis, and what Hep C, Hep B, mostly, yeah. And currently we are doing this one, the gene experts.
Mm.
The gene expert. So we look for TB as well, and anything related to diseases or things that can be transmitted. So with diabetes, we don't check. And normally with diabetic patients, they won't even come for donation.
Mm.
They don't usually even come for donation and those stuff. So yeah, that is it.
Wonderful. Guys, thanks to those who are liking, who are sharing the live. And today we've spoken about blood groups and resource factors. And I'm saying that we are going to be coming back to talk about the sickling status as well. The When we talk of sickling, the AA, the that's the HB electrophoresis, isn't it?
Yeah.
SSSCAS status and how it kind of relates to choosing a life partner. So please watch out on my page for information on that. I've got here with me Miss Ruthie. Wonderful. Okay. Tadele Beth Kadu says, I am gynecologist, want to work there. Okay. Please, when you say there, do you want to collaborate with us for these live sessions? What exactly do you mean, please, Tadele? Yes. So we are going to be coming back on a live session to talk about that because the electrophoresis is it's important that we know our status, especially if you're going to be settling down with people, with somebody. You have plans of having children. It's very important that you know your status. So watch out for information on that on my page here on TikTok. And yeah, and I would want to add on that all the live sessions that we've had are available. I've had here with my guest or myself are available on my YouTube channel, including this one. So after this live, it's going to be available. The replay is going to be available on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Just in Greatness TV. Just as you see at the top there, just type on YouTube search box, in the YouTube search box, add TV to it and you find it. Go into the live session portfolio and you find it there. This live session, I'm going to pop it in the playlist titled Health Education. So you should find it there. Okay, so Twist Parker says type 1, DM, diabetes type 1 is autoimmune, and type 2 is insulin resistance. None is caused by bacteria, so it can't. Wonderful. Thanks for that contribution. So he says, so diabetes can't be transmitted through blood transfusions. Amazing. That's lovely. That's reassuring to somebody who this question may be bothering them. Somebody may be in a life threatening moment. We go like, you need transfusion. They be like, no, I'm not taking it. Why? Some have the notion that they may develop chronic conditions like DM, and so they don't want to take blood transfusion. So this clears that myth. This clears that bother. Wonderful. So as I've said, you can find my YouTube channel link in my TikTok bio, in my TikTok bio. And those of you who are trying to get in touch with me, some are asking for my contact details. I don't share contact details here on TikTok or on YouTube. What you can do is to check the description section of all my YouTube videos. You'll find my Telegram page and channel links in there. Join the Telegram community and let's communicate there. All right. So, Miss Riti, your last words. Oh, Mayday Anderson. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, Miss Riti, your final words. If there is any other myth you would want to bust, or you want to add any other thing to our session today.
I think you've made, like you've said all. So I would say thank you for your time too. Thank you so much.
I should be thanking you for your time, you know. Thank you so much for making it today. Thank you. And for agreeing to come back on, subsequent sessions to educate the public. God greatly bless you. I'm going to let you go because I can see you are needed. Okay. So guys, please, Miss Riti is about to leave us. So if you've got any question, you quickly ask before she goes. So because me, I'm not a medical lab scientist. She is, so this is a field. Yeah. So and I'll also add on one last thing that especially in where we are coming from, some countries in Africa or Asia, some believe that when they are pregnant, they can take care of themselves at home. We've just talked about blood groups and the reasons, factors and all of that. It's very important that you seek medical care, you seek maternal care in the hospital when you are pregnant. It's very, very important. Some may say, I'm pregnant, but I'm fine. There is nothing wrong with me. Why should I go to the hospital? You need to go because of some of these reasons, what we've just talked about. It's important that you are tested and, managed appropriately, your baby safe, you safe, everybody happy at the end of it all. Great. Thank you, guys. Miss Riti.
Hello there. So thank you, and God bless you. And still, you can also drop your question in Madam's DM. I think she'll also be ready to answer any questions. Okay, so if you are even shy here to drop the questions here, please go directly into her DM or my DM.
Yeah.
And I'll kindly respond to that. So thank you. God bless you there.
Thank you too. Let me drop you. Let me be the one to drop you. Oh, she's dropped herself. So, guys, it was great having you all here today. If you joined in late, don't worry. The replay will be available after this session on my YouTube channel. You can find my YouTube channel. Sorry, you can find my YouTube channel link in my TikTok bio. This Sunday. Okay, Kamso. Okay, I hear you. I'll check it out. So this Sunday, I'm going to be on a live session, God willing, if nothing, crosses our plan. I'm going to be on a live session with an internationally educated nurse who is currently practicing in Canada. She will, I've been here on live sessions to talk about how healthcare professionals can explore the world and, to practice in their profession. And I was here on a live session to talk about Canada. So there is an internationally educated nurse who is currently practicing in Ghana who has accepted to join me on a live session to share her journey. So it's going to be, God willing, on Sunday, the 14th of September at 1700 UK time. So check my page, my profile. You'll find the live schedule there, and then you can join in. Widam says, I think it should be echoed that this blood group and its compatibility is not just for women. Yes. It's not just for women, it's for all. Definitely. So whether you are a man, whether you are a woman, it is very important. As I've said, your blood groups and your blood group and your rhesus factor links. It links to your health. It links to your medical management. So whether you are a man or a woman, you need to know your blood group. You need to know your resource factor so that you can be treated, especially in emergency situations. You can be treated um, accordingly, properly. Yeah. So that is what we've discussed today. So watch out for Sunday's live session, God willing. It's going to be um, a live story time. It's going to be a story time. An international educated nurse is going to share her journey, how she made it, how she ended up in Canada practicing in a healthcare profession. So make a date with me. All right. Great. So, guys, thank you so much. Those who shared the live, those who gifted us, God bless you. Those who liked the live, thank you so much. We see all of that. And until we meet again, those on YouTube, it was great having you two here. If you just joined in, if you are, we are just meeting today. It is nice meeting you. It is Josephine Greatness on Josephine Greatness TV. Today we've talked about all about blood groups and the rhesus factor with my guest, Miss Ruthie, who is a medical lab scientist. And if you've got any questions, you can pop it in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of the amazing stuff that is going on here on this channel. If you haven't yet gotten a copy of my debut single, it is available on all digital platforms. The title is In This Place by Josephine Benson. There are free downloads. Get yours. It's available on all social media handles. It's here on YouTube and on TikTok, on all social media handles, WhatsApp as well, Snapchat, Facebook. You can use it as your song over or your background music. God bless you all for joining in. Until we meet again in my next session or video, it is take care of yourself and bye. I'm ending it now.